my style as a coach is to help somebody take a disorganized, lack of system, organize it, create a place so that you can follow it with consistency. And what I've learned over the years is that most agents have great marketing ideas. Their problem is execution. I mean, if you sat down for a minute and probably pulled this call in the chat and we pitched different ideas, I think we would discover that you don't have where's my line I wrote down? You don't have a creativity problem, you have a structure problem. And so I want to ask you guys, maybe put it in the chat. So this will be a fun mastermind. You guys can grab some ideas from one another. After all, it's called a master class, and I don't intend to just talk at you for 30 minutes. I want to get some ideas flowing and help you inspire one another. So where do your marketing ideas usually get stuck? Put it in the chat. Where do your marketing ideas usually get stuck? You know what happens. You watch a conference, or you're at a conference, or you see a webinar, you get an idea, and then nothing happens with it. Where do your marketing ideas usually get stuck? Implementation, execution. Give me some more. Where do your marketing ideas usually get stuck? I want to get some feedback from you. Lack of consistency when you run out of time? That assumes you had time in the first place, Ann. Okay. So I want to start with a concept that might be a little different for you, but maybe not. At the beginning of the year, I thought this might be appropriate. Step number one, and what I'm going to walk you through today, is you have to start in your marketing business plan. You have to start with a number. And what I mean by that is you want to reverse engineer your marketing from results, not from content. We want to reverse engineer your marketing. And Krishan, this is the cool part for you, is you're bolting on to success. You're bolting on to other people around you that have momentum. So it's not just you by yourself. You can claim the transactional results and success that others around you, like your mom, have had. So if your marketing ideas can't connect to a number, it's just content. And I don't think anybody on here just wants to create more content for the sake of creating content, or the sake of just creating an audience or a followership. Let's create some marketing to get some transactions. And in my coaching ecosystem, I'm working with clients. I'm going to give you an example of something that we spent about 8 hours between November and December working on. And out of that is what prompted me to share this with you and to say, yeah, Christina, I got something for you. And I'll share it because I was really proud of the work product, that it was mind-numbing. But there were some big ahas for my client that we really worked. You'll see this in a second. I'll give you an example of some of the things that came out of it. But I want you to write down, or put in the chat for those to see. If you don't want to share this, then just write it down. Fill this out. Your desired transactions for the year, number one. How many transactions you want to close this year? Number two, how many monthly transactions you need? And number three, what does that look like in conversations and leads per month? Like, what if you thought about your marketing as a way to generate conversations and leads, not just paying for them? How many people are, in a Zillow contract or Zillow Flex or Realtor contract, or paying for Google ads or things like that? And it's the only way that their marketing is producing leads and conversations. In this particular team that I'll show you an example from, our goal for 2026 in their 400 transaction goal is 30% of those transactions are organically coming from their marketing. And I really love the work product and what we produced out. So you got the math, number of transactions for the year, number of transactions for the month, but truly, how many leads and conversations do you need monthly? I'm not trying to turn this into a math class for you. I'm just trying to turn this into some clarity for your accomplishment. Okay, so step two in the process. So step one really is, I got to start with the numbers. Step two, I want you to take a look at my content buckets. And this is the big breakthrough that we had as we developed this plan for a very robust, successful team that I think any individual agent or team can rip this off and duplicate it. But here's the concept behind the content category screen. You can take a screenshot of this, guys, or I can share the slides with you, Christina, and you can send it out to everybody later. But here's the concept. Random ideas in your marketing creates burnout. Categories, you're going to see how in a minute, create consistency. So there's 8 core content buckets on this screen. The education bucket is demonstrating your market authority. Here's what's going on in the real estate market is an example of education, but not just regurgitating things that you see, but demonstrating your market authority hyper locally, educating people hyper locally on what's going on in the market. Lifestyle, that's an easy one to explain, but it says, here's what the local lifestyles are like. Here's what's happening here. I had a coaching client the other day go, a cousin of mine just ran a marathon through these beach cities. I was like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that's a great example of why don't you do a time lapse video on all of the beach scenes that he ran through and talk about them. Do a voice overlay. It's an easy video to do. It's not going to take you much time, and it demonstrates what's local. Behind the scenes, BTS, I think that's one that a lot of people try to emulate, but don't necessarily pull off because they forget about it after, or they remember to do it after they've already had the oh shoot, we should have recorded that experience. Listings, I think 90% of most real estate content is this category, this bucket, and we want to diversify that. Storytelling, if you notice, I said client wins, case studies. This is what the client was doing before I worked with them. As a result of our working together, here's what they were able to accomplish. Telling those types of, if you haven't seen this fad, it is a Netflix documentary style client storytelling. Okay. You're showing the B-roll of them, and maybe you're showing them houses, and then you're on a chair talking to the camera. Whatever number I'm on, 6, I think it is. Entertainment, it's really your relatability quotient. Be you, be personable, have fun, show that side of you. Reflection, this is the classic one. You might recognize this one where the green screen is behind you, right? The green screen, and you're scrolling through something that latest news, something that just came up. You're giving your personality and reflecting on today's news. And then the last one is just you or team content. And there's a lot of content that's attempted in this category, but not necessarily masterfully done. So here's the exercise. If there's an assignment that I can give you from this content category, and this is really important, I want you to write down 5 marketing ideas, not content ideas, not content category ideas, but 5 marketing ideas you already have. Just really quick, write them down for yourself. Write down 5 marketing ideas that you have. Just get them out of your head. You have an idea to do that listing. You have an idea to, do that, feature that business. You have an idea, fill in the blank. 5 marketing ideas, go. Now help the room. Unmute and share one of your ideas. Help the room. You're going to get your 5 filled out here by listening to somebody else's one. Unmute or drop it in the chat. What is one of your ideas?
I'll share one of mine that I used to do a lot that I fell off of. I need to do more is just sharing the story instead of just saying just sold or whatever, like sharing the story of that family. And that always used to get a lot of attention.
Good, Ann. Somebody else.
I'll share one. We went to, I don't remember which TF event it was, but we started implementing it, and like Ann kind of fell off, which is instead of just doing a listing video, there's plenty of those out there. But I think her name was Jeannie. She was on stage where we put 2 of them into action where we went out and filmed like individual things about that property, like focusing on the backyard or focusing on the amenities in the kitchen. And so you had more content, like instead of just a video. And we did about 3 of those. And honestly, it's probably been about a year and a half. And that's something I want to pick back up to.
Okay, good. Jessica?
One of ours is all about owning a short-term rental.
Good. Yeah. How to own a short-term rental? Anybody else? One idea. So I want you to take your ideas that you wrote down. Hopefully you have 5. You will by the time you're done. We break the seal, you start flowing. Don't go past this, guys. Take the time to write this down. But take a look at your 5 ideas and now assign them to a bucket. Assign them to a content category. But have this rule in your marketing idea strategy sessions. No category equals no content. If we aren't slowing down to think about where does this lie? This content idea I have, am I over-indexed in the listings value content category? Or am I over-indexed in the education market authority category? And I haven't done anything in the other categories. No category, no content. Okay? Step number 3. Here's the challenge. Not all marketing deserves equal time. If you look at this bar graph, and it's just a sample of how much time, but in this particular client that I helped, I made them because we had a bandwidth challenge. There's only so many people in the marketing department, a videographer, a photographer, et cetera, and post-production and so on. How much time do these categories take? The one that takes the least is on the bottom. This is just what we've discovered in mapping it and tracking the bandwidth. And so you might want to consider that your execution improves where your time limits are pre-decided. I don't know if you got that. But if you took on the education or market authority or the lifestyle or the behind the scenes category a little too much, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is taking so much time and I have to go, and you're not going to do it. So don't let the constraints of time limit your creativity. They protect your consistency, but you have to consider which category here might you be spending too much time on? And which category might you be avoiding you need to do more of? So I want you to give yourself the purpose of this, this concept is really out of experience and working through an entire marketing calendar for the year. And I'm going to give you a screenshot of what that looks like for 1 week in a second. But I want you to give yourself permission to not over polish, but create some diversity in your content categories, knock them out, watch what happens. Okay, so you might have heard this said before. The infamous teacher of this concept of create once, distribute everywhere is Gary Vaynerchuk. He said it many years ago. And I think it's a lost art because we often create something for Instagram, or we create something for our Facebook, or we create something for YouTube. When in reality, you could create one idea and it equals 1 full week of content. Let me explain. You could take that one idea and I'm going to challenge you guys as you have the marketing idea and it fits into a content category, make that idea work for long form video first. Let your long form video be the place where all of your content, and ideally that's YouTube, by the way, right? Long form video starts there and it distributes everywhere. But what happens you may not even see this from the outside looking in, high performing agents in marketing don't create more, they repurpose better. So if your idea only lives once and you drop it onto Instagram and it goes nowhere, it's too expensive. But what if your one marketing idea that's a 12-minute long form video will turn into 6 short form videos, will turn into 6 different social posts, 1 great email content, and 2 or 3 quote cards. And oh, by the way, those 6 short form videos are not just on one channel. They could be in your YouTube shorts. They could also be in your Instagram reels, on your Facebook and your LinkedIn. And the same is true for those 3, 4, 5 social posts. By the time you're done here, guys, your one marketing idea and one content category has got 13 to 30 different places in 1 week. You take a quote out of your long form video. The thing, by the way, you can load your long form video into ChatGPT or using an agentic browser like Comet and have it give you the best quote, the best one-liner, the hook that you said that really grabs everybody's attention. And that becomes the subject line for your email content. So step number, whatever we were on, 4, create once, distribute everywhere, goes into something like this. Let the calendar do the thinking for you. That's step number 5. And this is one content category of education. It's demonstrating your marketing authority. And all of the blue that you see here, most of the blue, I should say, is the distribution of what you saw previously here. The long form, the quote cards, there's carousel style posts, short forms, etc., is all distributed throughout the week. You don't need motivation to pull this off if your calendar is already decided. By the way, if you see the emails that are down below, those emails are not all of your content. It's your other listing stuff. There's a broker's open. There's an open house promo up here as well. There's an email that's going to the VIP buyers. There's another type of an email newsletter. It's not all necessarily from your one marketing idea, but this map of distribution is copied week to week to week. The thing that changes is the campaign category. So my one marketing idea that I have for creating content is really for a long form video that gets distributed into up to 30 different places. It looks like I'm everywhere when all I did was maybe use a Sprout Social type distribution piece of software and get it out there. So here's the point. You only need to win 1 week. And you do that 1 week in the map over and over and over. Does it make sense? So step 6. This different content, if you look at those content buckets that I put over here on the right, different contents, and this is a map, this is actually a screenshot of that plan that I did with the client. The campaign categories, the buckets that I showed you earlier on the left-hand side, and the purpose for each one is on the right-hand side. The point is different content has different jobs. Trust is being deposited into your viewer from these different content categories. But if you notice, some of these are trust building, some of these are reach building, some of these are building your authority, and some of these actually convert into leads. But not all of them. One piece doesn't do all 4 of those things. That's the purpose of the multiple different content campaign categories. So if you were to take this into an activation, if I was coaching you directly, I would say this. What content do I expect to build attention? What content category do I expect to build attention? What content category do I expect to build trust? What content category is going to start a conversation, which means it's going to most likely get to a lead? Does everybody get that screenshot? Step number 7. And I started by saying this. Consistency comes from a system. And guys, systems are the thing that survives the weeks. Your willpower won't. So if I was to take your ideas and put them into a content category and put them into a calendar like you saw, the number one thing that I would say that would keep you from executing on it, the system's in place, your ideas are there. Does anybody want to guess what's going to stop you from moving forward? You ready? It's not perfect. It's not perfect. The number one thing that keeps people, oh gosh, it's just not me. It's not exactly what I want. Get it out there. quantity is just as important as quality here, and quality does not have to be perfect. So maybe from this, you take the ideas and need to map them out, but I'm going to say you need to take the ideas and map them to content categories and then put them on your calendar by content categories, not by ideas. Oh, let's do that listing next week. Oh, let's do that. No, that's not how it works. You do all 8 buckets spread out over 8 weeks and then repeat. So I'm going to ask you guys to do a little bit of a reflection. What's one thing you're going to stop doing in your marketing? What is one thing you're going to stop doing? Come on, engage with me. What is one thing you're going to stop doing?
I think
What is one?
flying by the seat of my pants, just posting whatever I want, whenever I want.
Good. Starts with a strategy. What's one thing you're going to stop doing, guys? Can you think? I got 4 things for you. 4 things for you to take this and turn it into action. So how about 4 things to start doing? Write down your top marketing ideas. And you got to probably do this at your peak state. Probably have to do this not when the end of the day when you're worn out, not when you're answering all your phone calls. Maybe it's a cup of coffee time in the early morning. Maybe it's your afternoon. For me, it's somewhere between 11 and 2. That's when my creative peak state happens. But write down, brain dump your top 10 marketing ideas, and then sort them into those 8 different categories. Remember, no category equals no content. But as a result of the 8 categories, pick one weekly theme. What's my weekly theme going to be week 1 in February, week 2, and so on? Maybe February 1 is too fast. That's fine. Start at the second week. Don't overthink it. Go to the category that takes the least amount of time to launch with that. And then commit to one repeatable plan for your content bucket each week. If any of you want to know how to take that and develop it like I did, if you guys didn't see it, that was my great client, Riley Smith out of Miami. New marketing director, new direction, definitely a big increase in his goal. If you'd like to take something like that and go a little bit deeper, I'm happy to help as a part of your organization to influence and help you guys improve your business. Just DM me and send me a message, and find some time on my schedule. We can hop on a call and I can show you. Okay.
Definitely send me that slide with the bucket and we'll get that shared out on Circles for sure. And my daughter's in college and she's doing marketing. I'm like, do you have time to jump on this?
Love it.
Like, I'm just
watch it later. I have a couple of clients that go, I want to know what you're covering. I'm like, you already know you're not doing it. Get to work. You just have to do the plan. All right, guys, have an amazing day.
Share that with us and we'll drop it in Circles so you guys could go back and reference that.
I will send you the Google slide deck. Have a great day, everybody.